Be careful, for something truly wonderful is occurring before your eyes. And it isn't just physical. It's a subtle, concealed sign that many people overlook. However, it suggests a profound spiritual awakening going place behind the surface. You may be wiping your eyes more than normal, attributing it to sleepiness or screens. What if I told you that your eyes aren't tired? Your view is evolving. Because when your spirit awakens, your eyes, the actual portals between this world and your inner self, cease to function. Not figuratively, literally. Let's talk about a symptom that nearly no one discusses. A faint, pulsating strain in or around your eyes, particularly in the region between them, similar to pressure behind your forehead that comes and goes without notice. It does not harm. It does not impact your vision. But it seems like something is being awakened, like an inner switch that has been waiting for the appropriate time. This is not a medical condition. It is not a headache. And it isn't simply stress. What you're feeling is spiritual, and it's stirring your awareness, attempting to connect with a different layer of reality. It marks the beginning of your intuitive eye's ability to perceive beyond what is evident. It usually begins gradually, with a peculiar tightness behind your eyes or a subtle pressure between your brows. You could feel it when you're motionless. It doesn't hurt and doesn't last long, but it returns just enough to be noticeable. Perhaps it appears when you close your eyes at night. Imagine a gentle internal frump between your brows or slightly behind your eyes. You touch your face, wondering whether you've been on your phone too long. But this is not about screen strain. It is deeper. It's occurring because something within is awakened. And your eyes, particularly the area around your third eye chakra, are the first to respond. This throbbing sensation is the first sign that your inner vision is awakening before your head realizes what's going on. When your spirit begins to experience greater levels of consciousness, your body prepares to perceive life in a new light. This tension is the consequence of underutilized spiritual awareness attempting to awaken and capture your attention. You aren't merely thinking differently. You're physically viewing reality in a different way, and your eyes notice the difference. If you sense this pressure, don't ignore it. You are undergoing a recalibration, with your body perceiving at a higher level of perception. Have you ever found yourself looking at something mundane, such as a wall, a plant, or the sky, and now it looks different? Not significantly, but subtly off. Everything appears to be in a hazy haze. The light feels warmer, and the colors appear deeper. Your eyesight becomes less about seeing clearly and more about experiencing what you're seeing. That is not imagining passion. It represents a shift in vibrational perception. You are still in the physical world, but your energy field is expanding. When it opens, the tight filters that your brain normally utilizes to analyze visual input cease relaxing. As a result, your vision appears dreamy at times. It's as if you're experiencing reality through a different lens, a spiritual one. You may even find that sunlight feels more sacred, or that particular places appear to shine with presence. You cannot describe. It is subtle yet distinct, and it does not necessarily feel tranquil. This weakening of vision might cause you to distrust your senses. You feel like you're falling between universes. The physical world appears to be receding slowly, yet being right in front of you. That's because you're becoming aware of the energy that drives the shape. If this is occurring to you, it indicates you can no longer see with your eyes alone. You are beginning to perceive with your essence. This is one of the most widely reported but poorly understood indications of the periphery's spiritual awakening movement. You're strolling down a hall when something flickers to your left. You don't turn anything. You're alone in your room, and you think you saw a shadow flit past the corner of your eye. These are not hallucinations. They are not paranormal in the horror movie sense. They are lively, echoing. Your peripheral vision is less focused and more instinctive. It is a portion of your vision that has developed to detect dangers or movement fast. During waking, your energy field becomes more receptive. This region begins to pick up information that your primary concentration does not. Energy shifts or even alterations in your personal emotional field. You may feel foolish turning your head for the 10th time, but you are not crazy. You simply sense more than most folks. You're seeing tiny movement around you, fields of energy, emotional residue, and maybe other people's unconscious intents. That movement is not attempting to terrify you. Your perception is growing. If this continues, it's a sign that you'll be able to transcend bodily consciousness. You're beginning to perceive beyond what the eyes were built for. This one smacks hard right away. You're sitting beneath LED lights or scrolling through your phone, and your eyes are irritated. You experience headaches more frequently. The brightness feels crisp, not simply bright. You find yourself dimming your displays, drawing the curtains, or avoiding fluorescent-lit shops and offices. However, as you go outdoors into natural light, the situation changes dramatically. The sun feels nutritious. Candlelight relaxes you. Even the hue of the sky at dusk evokes emotion. This change occurs because waking increases your sensitivity to frequency, not simply brightness. Artificial lights produce frequency eyeballs, which upset your neurological system. Your waking body begins to reject these abnormal inputs, almost as if it were detoxifying. Your eyes resist because they have evolved into portals for more than just vision. They're currently absorbing energetic information. If you crave dark, warm, or golden lighting, it's not a design choice. That is your energy body informing you what it needs to maintain your attraction to what your soul knows is true. And you are repulsed by what has been constructed without spirit. This is a silent resistance within your body, indicating that your spiritual intelligence is awakening. You may have seen that eye contact is no longer neutral. It either feels thrilling or totally unpleasant. Some individuals stare at you and make you feel naked. Not physically, but in a way that allowed them to feel your energy. Even if you didn't say anything. When someone stares at you and it feels like they're pressing into your soul without your consent, it's because you can't see their eyes. You're looking through them. Your spiritual awareness has increased. And with that comes the capacity to detect whether someone is telling the truth or wearing a mask. You can tell when someone isn't being real by looking at them. You may even glance away reflexively because it appears fake, forced or hollow. But when someone looks into your eyes and is completely there, it strikes you like a tsunami. Time slows. Words aren't necessary in that time. Everything is understood. That type of stare exudes vitality. And now you're sensitive enough to read it. Your eyes are no longer just receiving visual information. They are involved in an enthusiastic exchange. This is why you may avoid eye contact or feel a strong desire for deeper connection through it. You are learning how to navigate this new sensitivity, which is a clear indicator that you are waking. You are sitting still. You are not upset. You're not thinking about anything emotional. And still, tears fill up in your eyes. Sometimes it's simply dampness. Other times, it is a complete release. But there is no tail to it. There's no trigger, just a peaceful brook. This kind of sobbing is spiritual. It is your soul purifying itself, without your conscious mind having to interpret emotional energy that has been trapped in your body for years. During waking, old pain, previous disappointment, and even ancestral scars begin to relax their grasp, and your eyes serve as the faucet through which the pressure is released. This is especially true during meditation, prayer, or moments of silence, when your brain slows down. Your deepest self takes over, and sometimes what emerges is too profound for words. So your body simply lets forth tears. These are not breakdowns. They're breakthroughs. Every time you shed those unexplainable tears, your soul lifts. Afterward, many people report feeling clearer, as if their vision has improved. That is not a coincidence. Your inner and exterior vision are related. When one passes, the other follows. This one sneaks up on you slowly. You're browsing through your feed, watching videos, reading articles, and suddenly you see imagery cropping up. The eye of Horus, the third eye chakra, the all-seeing eye, even tattoos, logos, or old art depicting eyeballs in unusual ways. You may even experience the vision while falling asleep or during a meditation flashback. This isn't a coincidence. When your subconscious decides to awaken, it frequently communicates through symbols, and the eye has long signified spiritual vision throughout nations and ages. You're not drawn to it only for its visual appeal. You'll remember it vividly. Your soul is indicating that it is time to perceive at a higher level. Sometimes these symbols function as triggers. They urge you to reconsider what you've always assumed about reality. They remind you that your physical sight is just one layer, and that a deeper type of vision is emerging. If these symbols follow you, it is not paranoia. It's called resonance, and it shows that something old within you is reawakening. You may not have noticed it previously, but after major spiritual upheavals, your pupils ceased behaving strangely. It's not just about the lights anymore. You enter into a room and your pupils widen, almost as if your body is in survival mode. When you lock eyes with someone, your vision sharpens without notice. And yet, when you're alone or in nature, your pupils appear peaceful and balanced. This occurs because your neurological system gets highly tuned during waking. You're no longer just responding to the brightness of a room. You're reacting to the energy in it. If someone has a lot of emotional baggage, concealed rage, or manipulative energy, their pupils may narrow significantly. It's a subtle defensive mechanism. Your eyes are attempting to limit the amount of energy you take through your stare. On the other hand, when you're in the presence of someone who exudes calmness and healing, your pupils dilate and relax. You can feel your eyes soften. Your body is no longer in defense mode. It welcomes the energy. This is not something that can be faked or controlled. It is primordial. If you've seen this, you're experiencing one of the most underappreciated markers of spiritual growth. Your body is learning to perceive through energy. When someone speaks to you in an inauthentic manner, a curious phenomena occurs. Your eyes start to glaze over. You attempt to keep eye contact, but something in you detaches. It's as if your eyes can't focus on their words. You may even feel yourself fading out entirely, as if their energy is repelling your attention. This is not a case of inattention. Your spirit refuses to interact with misalignment. During waking, your soul begins to want truth, and your eyes grow sensitive to deception. When someone speaks with ego manipulation or superficial intent, your eyes notice and detach. You practically cease perceiving the discourse. This may make you feel rude or preoccupied, but in truth, your body is safeguarding its energy. Your visual system rejects everything that is not in alignment. If you lose concentration when some individuals speak, do not blame yourself. It's not disrespectful. It is a spiritual discernment. During the waking process, your dreams take on spiritual significance. You wake up not just drowsy, but also physically exhausted and with puffy eyes, as if you had been looking at something all night. In certain circumstances, there is no logical explanation why you slept for a whole 8 hours. No screens means no stress, but your eyes seem to have worked. That's because during spiritual awakenings, your subconscious frequently unlocks doors to hidden levels of recollection, past trauma, or intuitive knowledge. While sleeping, you may not recall the dream, but your body and eyes do. Bear the weight of that spiritual effort while remaining connected to your energy gates. This is not an issue to solve. It indicates that your energy is digesting deep levels of waking even while your conscious mind is resting. If this occurs, do not panic. Rest, stay hydrated, avoid stimulus, and trust. Your spirit is mending in ways that your eyes are simply conveying. Someone could tell you one day that you look different, but it's not because of your dress or hair. They aim at your eyes. There's something about your eyes that strikes you. Your stare is no longer the same. Perhaps it is softer or deeper. It may be more severe, but it is irrefutable. You aren't just looking anymore. Do you see? This is not an ego thing. It's not about attractiveness or charm. It's about energy transfer. When you wake up, your eyes start to mirror your internal condition. People can sense it. Even if they can't describe it, your presence becomes more obvious. Your silence speaks. Your stare can hold. Space appears by deception. It's not something you can turn off. This is why strangers occasionally avert your sight and animals cease responding to you as freely. Your eyes have a frequency that draws attention, and the more spiritually attuned you become, the more UK talks without words. If you've ever observed small specks or threads floating across your vision, particularly while staring at bright sky or aircraft walls, you've most certainly seen what's known as eye floaters. However, upon spiritual enlightenment, something unexpected occurs. These floaters may become more frequent, or you may notice small, white or golden sparkles in your peripheral vision that fade when you try to focus. Doctors will frequently detect no problem. Eye examinations yield normal results. There are no retinal disorders or illnesses, only unexplained visual oddities. That is because they are not medical red signals. They are energetic changes. Your energy field is getting more sensitive. Your vision is registering delicate motions of light and energy that your brain is still learning to process. You are in between sensory dimensions. I'm not hallucinating, not broken, simply moving. And these visual abnormalities are your body's way of communicating that there is more to this world than what you have been taught to see. You could still be wondering what's going on with your eyes, whether they're merely physical oddities or something more serious. But let me be clear, you are not dreaming it. The subtle strain, the flickers in your vision, the pain of phony eye contact, the odd tears, and the fact that you now feel light rather than just see it. These are not coincidences. These are confirmations. You're waking gently, strongly, and surely. And if this spoke to you, it was because you already knew. Please let me know in the comments. Have your eyes been responding like this recently? And what have you observed that no one else seems to get? If this video helped to clarify what you're going through, subscribe to receive more authentic, grounded insights about spiritual awakening and change. You're not alone on this path. More of us see clearly than ever before. And you're one of them.